today on the CTV News at 5.
Mr. Speaker, I now wish to table the government's budget.
Premier Alison Redford's first budget is released. We break down the numbers. Plus,
Sawyer, we love you.
Heartfelt plea. The father of a man charged after the shooting of two Mounties begs his son to come home. And who the unsuspecting victim was of an annual senior send-off prank with the pronghorns.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Alison Redford's government has released its first budget, and it appears that she's making good on helping Alberta's less fortunate, but at the cost of the Sustainability Fund.
And as Finance Minister, I can tell you that one thing that is definitely changing is our approach to government and how we manage Albertans' tax dollars.
Revenue is up from last year, but so are the provincial expenses, leaving us in the red for next year by nearly $1 billion. On the upside, the province is forecasting will move into the black from 2013 and again in 2014. And it appears Alberta Sustainability Fund continues to be unstable. As you can see, the forecasted value continues to drop from last year's $11 billion to $2.3 billion in 2014, but it will rise again marginally to nearly $5 billion in 2015. Chris Epp was at the budget announcement this afternoon, and he joins us now live from Edmonton. Chris, tell us about the increases for Alberta's less fortunate.
Jackie, the province is increasing funding for AISH specifically. That's the assured income for the severely handicapped. Right now, about 46,000 Albertans collect AISH, and as of April 1st, the maximum monthly income benefit for someone on AISH is going to be increased by about $400. That's to about $1,600 a month. That's about a 50% increase. The monthly income exemptions are also going to double, so people can earn more money without and still collect the maximum AISH benefit. So that works out to be about a 5% increase, and the government says this is the first increase in support to AISH in 4 years. Now, support for PDD is also going up. Right now, about 9,600 adults are under the PDD program. The province is increasing spending for a number of programs by about $34 million, or 5.5%. And that money is also going to be used for wages, because there's been a lot of complaints that PDD workers are basically underpaid, and therefore the province isn't attracting the best people for that. So that's something a lot of people within that program are looking forward to. And on the childcare side, there's also a good subsidy for people getting a low income. The threshold is being raised. So right now, you had to be making $35,000 or less to qualify for any sort of childcare subsidy. That's changing now. If you make $50,000, you can still qualify for that subsidy. That's going to mean about 26,000 Alberta children could end up qualifying for subsidized care. Now, as you mentioned, the Sustainability Fund, the money's got to come from somewhere. This is the fifth straight Alberta budget that's been running a deficit. At 5:30 and 6 on our news, we're going to look at exactly where this money is supposed to come from and what the long-term prospects are. Jackie.
Okay, thanks, Chris. A busy day in the Alberta legislature. Now, the provincial budget is relying heavily on population growth, and Lethbridge is leading the country in that category. The latest national census from Statistics Canada show Canada's population is almost 33.5 million, a 5.9% growth rate from 2006. Meanwhile, Alberta's population is just over 3.6 million. That's an increase of 10.8%. Lethbridge's population is now 83,517. That's a staggering growth rate of 11.8% over the last 5 years. Medicine Hat saw an increase of just 5.3% since the last census, which puts them just over 60,000 residents. Dory's here. And Dory, the weekend can't come soon enough, but it's going to be cooler than normal coming up.
It is. It's going to be, well, the coolest time is going to be the overnight lows, of course. We're going to be minus values for the daytime highs as we get into the ensuing days. But it's Saturday night. We're going to have an overnight low of minus 22 degrees plus a wind chill, very possible. So it's going to be quite chilly overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. But by Sunday afternoon, we should have a high right around 0. So this Arctic air mass is very deep, very broad, but it's not going to be with us all that long. And I'll give you more details in just a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Dory. Well, the family of a wanted man is asking their son to turn himself into police. RCMP have issued an arrest warrant for Sawyer Clark Robison for the attempted murder of 2 police officers near Killam. Constable Sidney Gaudette and Constable Sheldon Shaw are recovering in hospital after being shot Tuesday. They have non-life-threatening injuries and will make a full recovery. Robison has been missing since the shooting, and today his father made an emotional plea.
Sawyer, we love you. You know that. We want to have you back, and we know how hard it might be for you to come back to us.
As we first told you yesterday, one of the injured Mounties grew up in Lethbridge. Constable Sidney Gaudette followed in the footsteps of his father, Jake, a retired RCMP officer who still lives in the city. Gaudette is listed in stable condition in an Edmonton hospital after undergoing surgery, and again, he is expected to make a full recovery. Gaudette took his police training at Lethbridge College. He graduated in 2005, and he recently returned from a honeymoon in Jamaica. Lethbridge Regional Police are investigating a complaint launched against RCMP in Whitehorse. It's alleged that officers in that community used excessive force in making an arrest. A 57-year-old woman says she was injured by RCMP while being placed under arrest. Two members of the Lethbridge Regional Police Service arrived in Whitehorse yesterday to complete an independent review of the complaint.
So, we take it very seriously to get to the bottom of that on her behalf, as well as the police agency, to resolve any accusation in both ways, both on behalf of. So we're an independent gatherer of the information provided to the prosecution service. They make an assessment, go from there.
The RCMP officer involved remains on duty. No charges have been laid pending the outcome of the independent review process. Well, when emergency hit, it's not only response teams that take action to control the situation. The public plays a vital role as well. Lethbridge Fire Chief and Director of Emergency Planning, Brian Cornforth, offered his advice to Southern Albertans on the best ways to react to emergencies today. He says the success of response plans depends on public cooperation with officials and communication with media, including social media. This played a large part in Lethbridge response teams diverting potential disaster when grass fire threatened several neighborhoods in November. Cornforth says whether it's fire, floods, power outages, or escaping hazardous material, it's important to stay plugged in.
Primarily, we want people to work on their 72-hour self-sustaining ability, so that they have an emergency plan, they've discussed it with everyone in their household, they've taken care of what supplies they might need for 72 hours if we can't get to them, that they don't add to the load on our emergency response.
The Lethbridge area has an emergency response plan specific to local concerns, as well as, of course, provincial and national plans to deal with larger emergencies. A massive recall on a popular coffee maker to tell you about. Some 900,000 Tassimo coffee makers are being recalled here in Canada. There are 140 reports of problems with the single cup brewers dousing people, including 37 cases involving second-degree burns. The coffee maker's tea disc can burst while brewing and actually spray hot liquid. It says a 2-year-old girl in Canada suffered second-degree burns to her face. You can go to the Tassimo website to check the affected models out. Well, the Lethbridge Hurricanes and Canadian Blood Services are teaming up for New Donor Month. Throughout the month of February, Blood Services will be attending all of the Canes' home games. They'll be offering information on donating and helping Southern Albertans determine what their blood type is. CBS says the demand for blood increases anywhere from 2 to 4% each and every year. They're hoping to attract new donors and encourage those who haven't given blood in a while to book an appointment.
We have to fill 14,600 new blood donor appointments in the in the upcoming year for the province of Alberta. And that's because most of our donors right now are reaching that age that they won't be able to donate in the next 10 years, and we need to fill those appointments before we're looking and scrambling.
I think it's just important to be out in the community, and whether it's giving blood or some of the other community events we do, it's just important to be out there, and everyone giving blood can save a life.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a few years now, and I think it's just something that everybody can jump on board with. It doesn't take very much out of your day to stop by here. It takes 5 minutes, so there's little things like this throughout the community that we can all take a part in, and it makes it a lot, a better life quality for a lot of people, and you don't realize it, but it's a pretty important thing.
And last year, Canadian Blood Services in Lethbridge managed more than 170 regular donors and nearly 30 new donors. You can book an appointment to donate by calling 1-888-2-DONATE. Smile if you're beautiful is one of many messages being passed around Lethbridge College. In line with Eating Disorder Awareness Week, the college is promoting healthy body image. As part of the campaign, they're using life-size cutouts of Barbie and G.I. Joe to show the unrealistic body proportions. Students also had the opportunity to step onto a scale without numbers. Instead, it was color-coded and each student given a motivational message.
They've said that just made their day. They go to the bathroom and it's up on a mirror, so they look in the mirror and they see something positive, which is a really nice, welcoming thing to see versus maybe focusing on a flaw or something that they don't like when they look in the mirror.
The event wraps up tomorrow with comfort food, and Friday at the college it includes a menu of mac and cheese, meatloaf, potatoes, and more. Well, if you haven't heard yet, you can now check out all of our news, weather and sports online. We're on Facebook at CTV Lethbridge. You don't have to have a Facebook account to be able to watch. Just type in CTV Lethbridge and Facebook in your search engine, like Google, and you can watch our shows. You can also follow us on Twitter, where we post the latest news and videos too. Check us out. Well, coming up next in the markets, it was another interesting day for our dollar. Here are the closing figures.